Hi everyone, my name is ACM. Well, that's not my name, those are my initials, and there's a reason why I'm doing this way. Um, it's basically to protect myself for now and my family. Um, from what you guys saw, this is in regards to my depression, and there's more goals and things that I want to do with this. And basically, my end goal is to help somebody out because I want to let everybody know that they're not alone and you're not the only one. So let me get into who I am. Just a short, brief intro of myself. ACN, those are my initials. I live in Essie, California. Those are the initials of my city. And like I said, once again, there's a reason why I'm doing that. I am 46 years old. I have 4 kids and 4 grandkids. I have been legally married for 27 years, but separated for 24. And currently single, which I'm okay with that now. Like I said, the reason for this is my longtime goal is to help somebody out. So let me go back to how this all began. About maybe 7 years ago, I went through a really, really bad breakup. Okay. That's when I started showing some signs. I didn't want to accept it. I was in total denial. I was like, no, this isn't happening to me. Why me? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, there was a lot of things that led to this. That breakup was one. However, I started learning a little bit more and more and more. And after I accepted what was going on, I realized that my past could have had a lot to do with this. My upbringing, my relationships, me being such a young mom when I had my first. Then by the time that I was 21, I had 4 kids already. So that should say a lot right there. I'm nervous. I have never done this before, so I'm just like, okay, so about 6-7 years ago, I went through that and I realized, to be honest with you, everyone, all the females in my immediate family, like sibling-wise, have struggled with depression, as well as 2 of my daughters. Oh my gosh, I'm so lost and I'm so nervous. Okay, so I went through the depression and all that stuff. I could get into my whole life, but this will go on forever. So basically, had a rough childhood. 7 siblings, mom and dad. Dad was an alcoholic. Mom struggled with depression. I'm assuming, and I'm just saying assuming, some anxiety. However, at that time, obviously, we didn't know what was going on with her. We just always thought she was in a bad mood, you know? So, and my dad was an alcoholic. He would go to work, a functioning alcoholic at that. He would go to work, come home, drunk, start stuff with my mom, to the point where we would just hide out. Let me mention this. I was a daddy's girl. I was a complete daddy's girl. I thought my dad was God. And I didn't like my mom at all. Horrible to say, but I did not like her. There was a lot of reasons why I didn't like her that led up to that. She didn't treat me like she treated all my other siblings. And I think this is just my opinion. I think it had a lot to do because I was a daddy's girl and my dad let me get away with a lot of things. And my dad was really messed up. Now I realize at this time, he was really a messed up person because he treated me completely different than certain other siblings. And I could totally see that now. But at the time, of course, I was just like, oh, whatever. You know, they're just jealous. Um, so my mom treated me very indifferent. Okay, so due to that, when I started in my preteen years, actually my teen years, at 13, I started messing around with makeup, sneaky makeup to school, doing all that stuff because we were not allowed to wear makeup. Okay, we were not to have friends. We were not allowed to go spend the night at anyone's house. We were not friends coming over. So started sneaky makeup. I went to an all-white school. There was maybe about 6 Mexicans total. Oh yeah, by the way, I am Mexican American. Mexicans, so that was a lot. I got picked on, bullied. It was kind of chaotic. So I started messing with the wrong crowd, started doing all that crap. Turned out pregnant at 14. Had my first daughter at 15. When my dad found out that I was pregnant, he got me a job at a grocery store. And I started working. Tried to go to school, keep going to school, but then eventually I dropped out. 16, got pregnant with my next daughter. Okay, so continued working, did what I had to do. Still having issues with my mom because of the pregnancies and stuff. After that, here comes my third daughter. And I was with her dad at the time. He was very abusive. I'm going to get into everything I'm talking about right now later on in greater depth. So got pregnant with my third daughter. Was living with my daughter's dad, which is my husband now. Mind you, my husband now, which I'm separated from, is not my 2 older daughters' dad. So, was abusive to me. We were living together, was abusive. Found out he was doing drugs, cheating, the works. So, I decided to relate to him to try using a drug like he was using, I was like, okay, maybe if I try this, maybe it'll get better. Started using and my life went completely downhill. Like I'm talking about downhill. Ended up going from one substance to the next. And it was just getting worse and worse. Like the substances got worse. So, started going to jail. In and out. Lost my kids. Thank God for my mom because, like I said, I had issues with my mom. I did not like my mom. However, let me just clarify this. Now and before she passed away, because my mom has passed away. She passed away in 2020. She was, to me, she's the best mother on earth and in heaven. Like, to me, she's the greatest. I realize now that everything she did and would tell me, maybe it wasn't the right way, but she was saying it for a reason. It was for my own good. So parents end up getting divorced. My dad had an affair and basically abandoned the whole family. I'm kind of jumping. I forgot about my I'm going to go back to my son, my final kid. When after I got hooked on all these drugs, my husband and I were back and forth, on and off. Ended up moving to Arkansas. My brother is out there, so I figured, okay, let's go. Maybe I get off of this drugs and I do good, whatever. I did that, went over there, and I did get off of drugs. However, here comes my husband because we had split up in between all of this stuff because he was abusive. So, that all happened, went to Arkansas, but I wanted my family. I wanted us to be a family. So me being the ignorant and dummy, I'm going to have a fairy tale family, contacted him, and he went out there. Abuse got worse because now my family wasn't close by except my brother, and my brother got along with them. So here comes my son. And he denied my son, and he was still really abusive. So I thought, oh no, he is not going to do this to my kid. He is not. I will be damned if he ends up like this man. So I decided to come back. Well, what happened when I come back? Got back on drugs. Worse. I'm going to be straight up. Basically, people say I abandoned my kids. I don't look at it that way, but reality is I did. Okay? That's really hard for me to say, but I did. In and out of jail. Got clean for about 9.5 months. Had a good job for the county. Got a dirty drug test because while I was doing all of this, I was in rehab. Got a dirty test, and my kids, I was 2 weeks away from getting my kids back. My kids were taken away again, so I just went downhill, and I did not care. So I started doing a bunch of stuff, getting worse and worse and worse. So I ended up going back to Arkansas. During this time, I was unaware that my parents were having some serious problems. So that's when I ended up leaving my mom, did all this stuff. Meanwhile, me in Arkansas, I was horribly addicted to another substance. Got back on drugs. And it was really, really bad out there. I had my 3 girls out there with me, and I messed up their life. Came back over here. Mind you, my dad is in Arkansas, but I cannot stand the man anymore because of what he had done to my mom and my family. Okay. To this day, I don't speak to my dad. My mom has been gone for a while now, but I haven't spoken to my dad in about 13 years. And honestly, I thought I was fine with that, but I'm really not fine with that. So I'm willing and ready to kind of start there, but we'll get into that later. When I came back, obviously I came back to California, and the same substance I was using in Arkansas, I continue using here off and on. So I was on that stuff for quite a while. And to be honest with you, I've been off of it about 6 months, if that. And my head is starting getting a little better at that, but so I got involved with the guy that broke my heart, and that's when my depression kicked in. So basically, that's how things went down, and that's when I started when I came back, and I started realizing that I did have depression. There was something wrong with me, and I had to figure out what was wrong, and turned out to be that. The whole purpose of this video is I want to prove to myself more so than anyone that I could make a difference, and that I'm not as bad as I've always thought I was. That regardless of what I've done and what people think of me, I'm not a bad person. And to show everyone else that you guys could do it. You guys could do it. look, we're going to walk through this together. You guys are going to see me because I am determined to rise up. I am not going to stay in this depression. I cannot. It is almost 7 o'clock in the evening. I'm still in my robe and in my pajamas. Okay. I haven't gotten to the point where I don't want to shower, but I've been needing to clean my house for the last week. My house is not disgusting or anything. However, I'm a Virgo, so I want everything done a certain way. However, I cannot get up and do it for the life of me. I cannot get up and do it. I do not know what to do. I am on medication. However, it's not working right now. I've gone to counseling and stuff, but there's just a lot of things that have kind of stopped me from going to counseling. And I'll get into that later on. However, I want to make a difference. I want to show people that you guys could get out of this. And I want to do it with you all. I want to prove to myself and I want to show the world that you guys could overcome this. So I'm hoping you guys have my back, support me, and we're going to go through this together. I don't know how often I'm going to make these videos, but I'm going to try to do them at least once a week. But I'm just going to give you a couple pointers and a couple things that I want to discuss throughout these videos because I think they have a lot to do with my depression. Okay? One of the big things, of course, was my upbringing and my parents, my relationship with my siblings, my children, my religious beliefs. I'm very antisocial. That's another thing I struggle with. I have no friends. I also want to discuss in further depth my drug addiction, my alcoholism, and why I don't go to counseling. And what I think is really affecting me is the system with mental health here. I am on Medi-Cal, which is government, government insurance, health insurance. And every time I find a counselor that I get used to, they switch it up on me. And the same thing with, general doctors. Like every time I get used to one, here comes another one. I feel like by the time I die, every single doctor in this county is going to know who I am and what I've been about. Or counselor, therapist, whatever you want to call them. So that's another thing. Another thing is I am in deep financial debt. And we'll get into that later. Another thing is my spirituality. And I'll get into that further. Later on, I want to talk, I've really gotten into tarot reading. However, I need help with that. I need guidance as well. I don't have the financial stability to just pay somebody to help me out. I just don't. I'm sorry, I'm reading off of a paper because I really wanted to make sure I could tell you guys what I want to accomplish by doing these videos. And the last thing I am going to discuss, one other thing is domestic violence. I do want to talk about that. And not in depth, but I just want to let all of you guys know it's okay. It's okay. You can overcome it. You can get out. I did it. You guys can too. My mind just went blank, and this happens a lot, okay? In the middle of me talking, this happens a lot, and I really think it has to do with everything I've done. So bear with me. Just be patient with me. I'm trying to be as real can get. Last thing I want to let you guys know, you guys are probably wondering, why is she wearing a mask? She's inside, Okay, the reason I'm wearing a mask is because this has a lot to do with my depression as well. Due to my drug addiction, I have very poor, I have a lot of dental problems that I need to get taken care of. However, due to my financial struggles, there's no way I'm going to get it done anytime soon. Hopefully, God willing, and with me pushing forward, I will accomplish that. I know I'm going to go through a lot. I know if anybody ever starts coming across anybody that does not like me, because I'm not liked for a lot of reasons. And most of them is because I have a big mouth. I say what I want to say when I want to say it. I don't care who you are. That's another reason I don't have one friend. Okay. I told you all I have 4 kids. I only speak to 2 of my kids out of all 4. So I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to move forward. I'm trying to better my life. Okay? So like I said, I hope you all stick around, support, because I'm hoping I could realize I'm really not alone. And I want to set that example for you guys. So stick around, subscribe. If you guys could relate, hit that like button. Do what you guys have to do, okay? And you all have a good week, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.